When your own father looks you in the eyes and says you don't deserve to live, something inside you breaks. But when I opened the letter he tried to hide from me, I realized fate had been watching the whole time. And that's when everything changed. If you've ever been betrayed by someone who was supposed to love you, hit that like button right now. Because today's story isn't just about revenge. It's about rising from the ashes, proving your worth, and watching karma do what it does best. Let's get into it. I grew up believing love was supposed to come from family. But for me, family meant walking on eggshells around a man who saw me as nothing more than a mistake. My dad, Richard, was the kind of man people respected in public. A businessman, a churchgoer, the man everyone said had it all together. But behind closed doors, he was cold, calculating, and cruel. When I was 13, my mom passed away from cancer. The day of her funeral, I remember standing beside him, shivering from the rain. He didn't even hold my hand. He just said, "Your mother spoiled you. You'll have to grow up now." From that day, home became a war zone. Every grade that wasn't perfect, every plate I dropped, every moment I showed emotion, it was weakness. He'd say things like, "You're nothing without me. You'll never make it on your own. You're just like your mother, too emotional for this world." And when I turned 18, he made good on that promise. He kicked me out. No money, no support, just a trash bag with my clothes and a note that said, "You wanted independence. Now earn it." I slept in my car for 3 weeks, worked 2 jobs, ate ramen and gas station sandwiches. But I didn't quit. I couldn't, because deep down there was a voice that sounded like my mom, whispering, "Keep going." Years went by. I clawed my way into college through scholarships and part-time jobs. I graduated in engineering, top 5% of my class. Every milestone, every success, I wanted to share with him, to hear him say, "I'm proud of you." But when I showed up at his office, diploma in hand, he laughed. "You think this means something? You're still nothing without my name." I swallowed the pain and walked out. That was the last time I saw him, until the call came 10 years later. He'd had a stroke. My first instinct was, nothing. No tears, no anger, just silence. But something in me said I had to go. Closure, maybe. So I drove back to the house I swore I'd never step into again. He was thinner, older, but that same icy look was still there. When he saw me, his lip curled. "You came to gloat?" "No, Dad. I came because you're still my father." He chuckled, a dry, bitter laugh. "Don't waste your pity. I should have let you die with your mother. You were the worst thing she ever gave me." Those words hit harder than anything I'd ever felt. I left that room shaking. And 2 days later, he was gone. When the lawyer called about the will, I didn't expect anything. I knew he'd probably left it all to his new wife or his business partners. But when I got there, the lawyer looked nervous. "Your father left you something, but it's unusual." He handed me a yellowed envelope with my name written in my mother's handwriting. Not his. I froze. How could it be hers? She'd been gone for 20 years. Inside was a letter. It read, "My sweet boy, if you're reading this, it means your father finally gave you this letter, or someone found it after I was gone. I tried to leave you something, but he made me promise not to tell you until after his death. You are the true heir to your grandfather's company. It's in your name. He didn't trust your father. He trusted you. The papers are in the safe behind his office painting." I could barely breathe. My grandfather, my mom's father, had owned a major manufacturing company. I'd assumed my dad had taken it over after his death. But it wasn't his. It was mine. I went straight to his office that night. Behind a large oil painting of him shaking hands with some senator, there it was, a safe. The combination was his birthday. Of course it was. Inside, I found what my mom had promised. Legal documents with my name. Not his. He had been running my company for 20 years, taking every dollar, signing every deal, under my name. And when I turned 18, the age I could have legally claimed it, he kicked me out. So I'd never find out. He wanted me erased. But now, I had the proof. I took the documents to a lawyer, the same one who'd given me the letter. His eyes widened. Do you realize what this means? You own everything. The patents, the properties, the brand. Your father was technically just a manager. It took 6 months of legal firestorms. But when the court decision came, it was official. I owned the company. The same company my father had spent his life controlling. And his wife, she got nothing. But I didn't stop there. I turned the company into something my mom would have been proud of. We started a charity fund for cancer research in her name. Employees who had suffered under my father's iron rule got fair raises and better working conditions. The world began to see me, not as his son, but as my mother's child. Kind, strategic, strong. But my revenge wasn't about humiliation. It was about rewriting the story he'd tried to destroy. 2 months after the court ruling, I went back to his grave. The grass hadn't even fully grown yet. I stood there, holding the letter my mother wrote. You tried to bury me, I whispered, but all you did was plant me deeper. I placed the letter on his gravestone, and a copy of the court order that gave me back what was mine. You told me I'd never be anything. Now I own everything you built with lies. For the first time, I didn't feel anger. I felt peace. Because revenge isn't always about hurting someone back. Sometimes it's about showing them, even if they're gone, that their cruelty didn't define you. A few years have passed since then. The company is thriving. We've opened 2 new divisions, both focused on sustainable energy, something my father would have called a waste of time. Every year on my mom's birthday, I visit her grave. I bring flowers, sit by her stone, and tell her everything that's happened. And every time, I say the same words. You were right, Mom. Love always wins. Because in the end, that letter wasn't just a secret. It was proof that my mother had never stopped protecting me, even from beyond the grave. And maybe that's the greatest revenge of all. My father wanted me erased, but now his empire bears my name. His legacy lives under my values. His name is a footnote. The same people who once bowed to him now stand beside me. And every time someone says, your mom will be proud, it feels like victory in its purest form. Because revenge isn't about destroying your enemies. It's about outgrowing them so completely that their power fades into nothing. Sometimes, life doesn't give you the justice you deserve right away. But when truth has patience and you have heart, karma finds its way home. So, if you're struggling right now, remember this. The pain you're carrying today might just be the seed of your greatest triumph tomorrow. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the most powerful form of revenge you've ever seen? Success, forgiveness, or karma? And of course, subscribe for more stories that prove sometimes the best revenge is becoming unstoppable.